Well, it actually started, while getting ready for Drinking Buddies. Joe has a pitch of how he runs sets. And when we talked on the phone, his pitch was, we'll start at about 9 a.m., we'll have a couple IPAs, we'll have a lot of fun, and I'll have you out by 5 p.m., and you're going to be really proud of the product. And I said, Joe, if the product you're selling me is as good as you say it is, I will work with you for the rest of my life. And Drinking Buddies was a blast to shoot, and so afterwards we were like, let's find something else.
It's interesting because I talked to a lot of people about that. And actually when I met you, that was a conversation we had where I was like, making a film is like throwing a party. And the invitation you send out has to be an accurate representation of the party. You can't say it's going to be a really fun
3:30 in the morning in Malibu. How did that happen?
Yeah.
I
You
was
had a
not
different party.
I invited you to a different party.
But you should have come to our party. It was really fun.
Our party was awesome. Yeah.
Beautiful house.
Yes.
Lots of snacks. Did you have snacks?
I had snacks, and I had Orlando Bloom, so I'm not.
It's true.
That's true.
I got there a couple weeks before we started, and we were able to hang out a few times.
But this wasn't like we pounded out a script. There was no dialogue. There's a very loose treatment. Yeah, pounded it out. Sorry. We didn't gently work on a script. We didn't lovingly finish.
You're just
We
getting
didn't make love to the
criticized like
script.
crazy, man. You might as well just stop.
Just getting killed.
all day.
All day.
We've just critiqued what
I
you
mean,
say.
just killed. But it's an outline, and then when each actor comes in, they're kind of asked to bring what they want to bring to the product.
It's about a husband and a wife who have very separate weekends. And I think for me, it's about trying to keep a long-term relationship exciting. I think it's about
Identity.
an attempt to hold on to that identity when you
Or
get
have a
married
new
or have a
identity.
kid. Yeah, who are you now? And does that mean you're not the person you were before, or does it mean that person's still inside of you? And via a kind of fun weekend adventure movie, I think we have these two characters really trying to figure that out about themselves. Since I first wanted to make movies, I think one of the powers that movies have are the ability to make people feel less alone in the world. So for me, the most exciting experience I had with other people's work was that you see some scene or you hear some piece of dialogue or something happens in a movie and you go, oh, I thought I was the only one who thought that, or I felt I was the only person who had those feelings. And now that I see this in this movie, I know I'm not alone. I know the world's smaller than I think it is, and there are these universal themes and experiences. And so with my own work, I think my point of view is the only point of view that I can speak from with any authority. So it's always felt like it needed to start there.
Well, it's a really obviously collaborative process. Actually, we work till 3:30 in the morning. We never get up that early. I think it was a little, we talked about this earlier, it was a little bit, you shared a lot more with the actors. Sometimes Joe likes to give everybody very little information so we can really see what happens. This one we got together and talked about, and I think there's no rehearsal in films like this, but the getting to know you process is the rehearsal, and it's kind of electric on screen when shout outs and things come back to things that you talked about, and you develop this shorthand and this intimacy very quickly. And it's not like you need to go out for drinks after work, because that's what you're doing all day long, is just sort of finding your scenes. I mean, no, but it's a very there's a scene with Jude, Joe's son in the movie, who plays our son, where he burst into tears because of sort of a misunderstanding about vocabulary. And it's those kind of like lightning in a bottle moments that films like this really capture, because we're not adhering so closely to a script, which is also a wonderful way to work as well. But you keep trying to recreate something that maybe happened once, and this every time is new. And Joe really says, well, we already have that, just do something different. This, and you're very clear with, as much as it's very open, Joe's also very clear when he needs a moment and won't let us escape until we get that moment. I'm
an editor too, and I'm cutting my own movies. So it gives me an advantage in the sense that if we're shooting a scene and I feel like I have pieces A and C already, then we can hone in on piece B.
He says you have total control and the actors can do whatever they want, but he also knows what he wants you to do. And he's going to get you to get where he wants it in a way that you feel comfortable doing it.
Or
so
in a way that you didn't even realize that
you were
he was
that's
getting
right.
you to do something.
But it's not like...
And then you watch the movie and
you're like, oh. But it's not an improvised thing where it's the thing starts and an hour and a half later, something's going to happen. Like there's always a plan.
And the takes are short. It's not like maybe some of your other movies or maybe the kind of mumblecore, what they've labeled these movies where you do like a 45-minute take.
Right.
We don't do these. It's more traditional in that.
That's
sense.
changed,
Yeah.
for me. Early on, I was just, I'd shoot a whole hour-long tape straight through, and then get in the editing room and go, oh, okay, now how do I cut a scene out of this? I think I've just gotten more confident, and I've done it a lot more. And so now, yeah, that's
It's
not
also really
a
fun
priority.
to work on these movies. I don't know how you guys felt as an actor because you don't have to understand everything that's happening. We went back and did a couple pickups, and all of a sudden Joe looked at me. He's like, "Okay, and in this one, you're gonna go and buy a really expensive coat, and you're gonna steal money out of your mom's wallet." And I was like, "What? What do you mean? Like, where did that come from with my character?" But you trust it because you know that the wheels are spinning, and he is always editing. You were editing the film while we were shooting. You had
Yeah,
half the
I took a
movie done.
break a week in and just got a hotel room for 2 days and just hunkered down and cut. And so even going into week 3, I already had a sense of what the shape was and what we needed or what we could get. Yeah.